Hello and welcome to our trip report for our recent cruise journey that took us from the north of England to Boston in the USA via Iceland, Greenland and Canada. Starting with our flight from Manchester to Keflavik in Iceland, we started our cruise in Reykjavik before visiting the incredible ports of Isafjordur and Akureyri in Iceland, Nunatsiaq in Greenland and both St John's and Halifax in Canada, before ending the cruise part of our journey in the American port of Boston. We spent 3 days there before flying back to Manchester via Heathrow. Whilst that would make an incredible adventure in its own right, this journey was made one to remember by having the opportunity to sail through the incredible Prins Cristian Sund in Greenland. Over the next 4 videos, I would love it for you to join me as I bring you a look at the Celebrity Summit, the ship we sailed on, and the ports we visited, and if that sounds of interest to you, subscribe to our channel to make sure you miss none of this adventure. Our first day saw my wife and I simply take a stroll around Iceland's capital city, which is somewhere we had visited before, and then head to our city centre hotel for a night's sleep. After 5.5 hours delay in setting off from the UK, our luck was to change quickly on the first day of our cruise, as it took less than 45 minutes to get from our hotel to the port, checked in, through security, onto the ship and to drop off our walk-on luggage at our stateroom. The Skarfabakki cruise terminal is around 10 to 15 minutes drive from the centre of Reykjavik and can only be described as basic. Thankfully, it was relatively warm and dry for us, but if it was cold and wet, it wouldn't be so much fun. Thanks to having an early check-in, we were amongst the first aboard the Celebrity Summit, and that gave us a great opportunity to explore and get to find our way around. The ship is actually the smallest and oldest of the main Celebrity fleet, and we will cover the ship in a later review video that I will link to in the description box. But its size was perfect for a trip such as this, where we would visit some of the smallest ports open to mainstream ships. At 4 PM, we slowly moved away from our berth and sailed past the centre of Reykjavik, out into the North Atlantic Ocean and towards our first port of call of Isafjordur. The entry into Isafjordur is as stunning as you would expect from a town with a name that translates to Fjord of Ices. And whilst we needed to tender into the town due to the small nature of its harbour, that only adds to the port. The town is the largest settlement in the Westfjords region of Iceland. It has a population of less than 3,000 and offers the sort of remoteness that makes a visit to this part of the world so special. We actually spent most of our time on shore away from the town itself, as we booked a private tour of the region that took in some of the nearby fjords as we travelled to the beautiful Dynjandi waterfall, the highlight of the tour and somewhere we would recommend visiting if you have never been to the port before. We still had a couple of hours to explore the town itself though, and that is plenty of time for somewhere such as Isafjordur, and allowed us to take in the main sights, the high street, do some gift shopping and get back on board the ship with time to spare. We then sat at the aft of the ship and enjoyed taking in the stunning scenery as we entered into the main Isafjordur fjord, but we were soon up on our feet as a number of whales appeared just to the side of our ship. Something that would continue to happen until we headed out to sea and onto our final Icelandic port of Akureyri in the far north of the country. Although one of the biggest towns, Akureyri is still relatively small and easy to explore on your own, but it does have the added advantage of allowing ships to dock just a short stroll from the town centre. We had once again booked an excursion with a local company, where we're taking some of the things that you can only see in Iceland. We went to the beautiful Goddafoss waterfall, the bubbling geothermal landscape of Hverir, before visiting the lava rock formations of Dimmuborgir and the pseudo craters at Skutustadagigar. This was a fascinating journey with a great small group of fellow travellers that even the annoyance of giant midges at every stop couldn't spoil. Just like in Isafjordur, we once again had time to take in the main sights of the town, including its church and main high street, before heading back to the boat, where again we would head to the aft of the ship for some more whale watching as we set off towards Greenland and a cruise through the incredible Prins Cristian Sund. That is where we'll end this video, so make sure you subscribe to our channel to enjoy the next part of our journey exploring Greenland.